Everyone loves to talk about motivation. You see it everywhere. Quotes, videos, morning routines. Everyone wants to feel inspired, fired up, and ready to take on the world. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. The people who actually make it to the top, they're something far scarier. They're disciplined. Motivation is like a spark. It feels powerful for a few seconds, but it dies as fast as it lights up. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning, even when there's no one cheering, no results showing, and no excitement left. The scariest level of discipline is when you no longer need to feel ready. You just do it. You don't wait for the perfect mood or the right moment. You move, even when your mind screams no. You show up when you're tired, when you're angry, when you're broken. And that's what separates the people who dream from the people who become unrecognizable a year later. Discipline is frightening because it requires silence. No applause, no attention, no shortcuts. It's not sexy, it's not loud, and it doesn't give you instant satisfaction. But it's what builds monsters. The kind of people who wake up every day with purpose carved into their bones. If motivation is a burst of lightning, discipline is a storm that never ends. It's quiet, consistent, relentless. It's a reason why someone else keeps rising, while everyone else stays stuck waiting to feel ready. The truth is the scariest level of discipline isn't about pushing harder. It's about no longer needing to push at all. It becomes who you are. And that's when you stop chasing success, because success starts chasing you. The illusion of motivation. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for motivation, that perfect spark, that sudden rush of energy that makes them feel unstoppable. They say, I'll start when I feel ready, or I just need to get motivated first. But here's the painful truth. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when things are easy, when the weather's nice, when you're comfortable. But the moment life gets heavy, the moment you feel tired, uncertain or discouraged, motivation disappears like smoke. You've probably felt it yourself. One day you wake up full of energy, ready to change everything. You make plans, set goals, maybe even start strong. Then life throws a little resistance your way. A bad day, a small failure, a bit of doubt, and suddenly that fire is gone. You tell yourself you'll start again tomorrow, then next week, then next month. And before you know it, the year's gone. Motivation made you believe that feeling good was the signal to begin. But the truth is the real signal is when you don't feel like doing it, and you do it anyway. The problem is motivation is built on emotion, and emotion changes every hour. That's why people who rely on motivation live in a loop. They start, stop and restart, endlessly chasing a feeling that never lasts. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. Discipline shows up when motivation hides. It's a quiet voice that says, I don't need to feel ready. I just need to start. Motivation wants you to move only when it feels good. Discipline makes you move even when it hurts. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a muscle. One fades the moment life gets hard. The other grows stronger because life gets hard. The illusion of motivation keeps people stuck waiting for something that will never return. But the moment you stop waiting to feel ready and start acting no matter what, that's when everything changes. Because the truth is, successful people aren't the most motivated ones. They're the ones who stop waiting for motivation altogether. What real discipline looks like. Real discipline isn't glamorous. It doesn't look like motivational videos or highlight reels. It's not about feeling powerful or inspired every day. Real discipline is quiet. It's repetitive. It's a version of you that gets up when you don't want to, that keeps going when no one's watching, and that does the work even when it feels pointless. It's showing up again and again. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't ask if you're tired, bored or frustrated. It doesn't care if you slept well or if the world feels unfair. It's emotionless. But that's exactly why it works. Real discipline is doing what needs to be done, regardless of your mood. It's not a burst of effort. It's a quiet decision repeated every single day. It's brushing your teeth in the dark when you're half asleep. It's going for that run when it's raining. It's writing when your mind is empty. It's choosing progress over comfort, again and again. The scary part about real discipline is that it often feels wrong. You'll doubt yourself. You'll wonder why you're pushing so hard when you can't even see the results. But that's where discipline separates the few from the many. Because most people quit when it stops feeling good. The disciplined ones keep going until it works. They understand that discipline isn't punishment. It's power. It's the moment you stop negotiating with yourself and start becoming who you said you'd be. Discipline is a bridge between intention and identity. When you do what you said you'd do, your mind starts to believe you. You begin to trust yourself. And that trust turns into confidence. Every time you show up despite hating it, you build a version of yourself that's unstoppable. That's what real discipline looks like. Not perfection, not passion, but persistence. It's a quiet courage to do what needs to be done, especially when it's the last thing you want to do. The uncomfortable truth. Here's the part most people never talk about. Real discipline doesn't look inspiring. It actually looks scary. It's the kind of consistency that makes others uncomfortable, because they can't understand how you keep going with no guarantee, no applause and no clear reward. From the outside, disciplined people look obsessed. They wake up early when no one tells them to. They repeat the same habits over and over while everyone else looks for something new and exciting. They don't celebrate small wins publicly, or announce their goals for attention. They just work, quietly, relentlessly, almost mechanically. The uncomfortable truth is that discipline isn't beautiful. It's lonely. It's boring. It's often invisible. No one sees the hours you spend improving when no one's watching. No one claps for you when you choose the hard thing over the easy one. No one cheers when you say no to distractions, comfort and excuses. The world only notices once you've already built something great. But by then they call it talent, not discipline. What makes discipline so scary is that it demands everything from you. Your comfort, your time, your peace. It asks you to show up when there's no motivation, no promise of success, and no external validation. It's not about chasing excitement. It's about embracing monotony. And that's something most people can't handle. Because let's be honest, it's easy to be consistent when things are exciting. But it's terrifying to keep going when there's silence, when progress feels invisible, when you're the only one who believes in what you're doing. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Discipline means trusting yourself so deeply that you no longer need proof to keep moving forward. The truth is, real discipline isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, private and deeply personal. It's a decision to do what others won't. Not because you're stronger, but because you're willing to endure the silence that comes before success. That's why disciplined people look scary to the world. They're not waiting to be seen. They're building something worth seeing. Examples of extreme discipline. If you've ever wondered what extreme discipline looks like, picture the athlete who wakes up at 4 a.m. every single day. Not because someone forces them to, but because their dream demands it. While the world sleeps, they lace up their shoes and hit the track. It's freezing. Their body aches. No one's filming. No one's watching. And there's no music to pump them up. Just silence, breath and repetition. They train when it hurts. They train when it's boring. And they train when they don't see results. Because for them discipline isn't an option. It's identity. Or think about the writer who sits down every day to fill a blank page. Not for fame. Not for likes. But because the words must come out. They write through doubt. Through self-criticism. Through days when every sentence feels wrong. They've been rejected dozens of times. But they keep going. Years pass before anyone even knows their name. Yet they never stop. That's the kind of discipline that builds greatness quietly, one invisible day at a time. Then there's the musician, who practices the same notes for hours, chasing perfection no one else can even hear. Or the student who studies long after everyone's gone home, driven not by grades, but by goals. Or the entrepreneur who works through endless failures, who sacrifices comfort, sleep and security, because they see something no one else can yet see. Extreme discipline isn't about obsession for attention. It's obsession for mastery. It's a willingness to live differently, so you can create something extraordinary. These people don't crave balance. They crave excellence. They understand that comfort is the enemy of progress. To outsiders, this kind of dedication looks insane. Why suffer so much? But to the disciplined, it's not suffering, it's purpose. It's a deep knowing that every repetition, every early morning, every quiet sacrifice is building something that will outlast the pain. That's what extreme discipline looks like. Doing what others won't. For as long as it takes, until the world has no choice but to notice. Why most people never reach this level? Most people never reach the highest level of discipline, because they give up too soon. They start with excitement, filled with motivation and hope. But the moment progress slows down, they assume something's wrong. They mistake boredom for failure. They think, if it's not exciting anymore, maybe it's not working. But that's the biggest lie the mind tells you. Because the truth is progress often hides in the boring parts. The beginning of any journey feels thrilling. Everything is new. You feel driven. You see small results. But then comes the quiet phase. The long stretch where things stop feeling fun. Where results barely move. And where no one seems to care. That's where most people quit. Not because they can't do it, but because they can't handle the silence. They expect goals to feel dramatic, but real goals is slow, subtle and often invisible. The people who reach the top understand something different, that mastery is born in monotony. They know that repeating the same actions every single day, even when it feels like nothing's happening, is exactly what leads to transformation. They embrace the boredom, because they know it's a sign they're on the right path. Boredom means you've moved past the beginner's excitement, and into the stage where real discipline begins. Most people never get there, because their attention span has been trained to chase newness. They switch goals, routines and dreams the moment it stops feeling good. But discipline isn't about chasing feelings. It's about building foundations. The best athletes, artists and leaders in the world don't wake up inspired every day. They wake up committed. If you can stay consistent when it's boring, you'll pass 90% of people, because success doesn't die from failure. It dies from impatience. Every time you quit, because results are slow, you restart from zero. But every time you push through the dullness, you're compounding effort into something extraordinary. The truth is most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they never stay long enough to see what their ability could become. The mental transformation. At first discipline feels like control. Like you're forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It feels like restriction. Like you're constantly saying no to comfort. No to distractions. No to yourself. But something powerful happens the longer you stay disciplined. One day it stops feeling like control, and starts feeling like freedom. Because the truth is, discipline doesn't trap you.
It frees you from the version of yourself that keeps holding you back. When you live without discipline, you live in constant negotiation. Every day becomes a debate between what you should do and what you feel like doing. Your mind becomes your battlefield, filled with excuses, delays and guilt. You waste energy arguing with yourself instead of moving forward. But when you build real discipline, that noise disappears. You don't argue anymore. You don't beg yourself to take action. You just act. The decision was made long before the moment arrived. That's real freedom. When your choices are no longer controlled by emotion. Scary discipline is when you no longer need to rely on willpower. You've trained your mind to move automatically toward what matters. You stop seeking motivation, because your habits run deeper than your moods. That's when you realize the truth. Discipline isn't about being strict. It's about being clear. You know what you want. And nothing, not laziness, not fear, not doubt, gets to stand in your way. And this transformation changes everything. You start to trust yourself. You begin to see yourself as capable, consistent and powerful. You stop being a victim of your emotions and become the architect of your actions. You no longer need external validation, because your own follow-through becomes your confidence. That's why the most disciplined people often look unshakable, because their mind is no longer controlled by resistance. When you reach this level, discipline isn't something you have to do. It becomes who you are. You no longer ask, "Can I do this?" You just do it. And that's when your life begins to shift. Because freedom isn't found in doing whatever you want. It's found in becoming the kind of person who does what's necessary, no matter what.
Pain versus purpose. Every path in life comes with pain, but you get to choose which kind. There's the short, sharp pain of discipline, and then there's the slow, suffocating pain of regret. One lasts a moment. The other can last a lifetime. The pain of discipline comes when you push yourself, when you wake up early, when you say no to comfort, when you sacrifice pleasure for progress. It's uncomfortable, it burns, it tests you, but it also builds you. It strengthens your mind, your will, your identity. It hurts, but it has meaning. The pain of regret, though, is different. It's silent and heavy. It creeps in when you realize you could have done more. When you look back and see all the times you quit, all the chances you ignored, all the promises you broke to yourself. It doesn't hit you all at once. It grows over time. Every day you avoid the hard thing, regret gets a little louder, and one day it becomes unbearable, because nothing hurts more than knowing you were capable of more but chose comfort instead. Discipline demands effort now, but regret demands peace later. That's the trade. The pain of discipline might keep you up early in the morning, sweating and struggling, but it also lets you sleep peacefully at night, knowing you're moving closer to who you want to be. The pain of regret lets you rest now, but it wakes you up years later wondering what went wrong. People run from discipline because they think it limits them, but in truth it's the only thing that protects them from regret. Every time you choose discipline, you choose purpose over pleasure. You choose growth over guilt. You choose your future over your feelings. So when it hurts, when your body says stop, and your mind says quit, remember this. Pain is unavoidable, but regret is optional. You can suffer now for a reason, or suffer later for nothing. The pain of discipline shapes you. The pain of regret breaks you. One builds strength, the other steals time. The choice is always yours. The moment you pick your pain, you also pick your future. The silent battle within. There's a war that no one sees, a war fought quietly in the mind of every person trying to change their life. It's not fought in public. It's not celebrated, and no one gives you a medal for winning it. It's the battle between comfort and commitment. Every single day you wake up and face it. One voice tells you to stay comfortable, to sleep a little longer, to take it easy, to skip the hard stuff just for today. The other voice whispers, do it anyway. And in that small invisible moment, your entire future is decided. No one will clap for you when you choose discipline over comfort. No one will see you dragging yourself out of bed when your body screams to stay still. No one will notice when you say no to distractions or stay focused while others waste their time. But those quiet, unseen victories are the ones that shape who you become. Every time you choose commitment over comfort, you strengthen something inside you, a kind of inner steel that can't be broken by excuses or setbacks. This battle never truly ends. Some days comfort wins. You'll slip, you'll rest, you'll fall back into old patterns. But what matters is that you rise again, stronger and more aware. You start to recognize the tricks your mind plays, the justifications, the delays, the lies that sound like kindness but are actually traps. And once you see that clearly, comfort loses its power. Commitment is choosing the hard path not because it feels good, but because you know it's right. It's trusting that every small lonely effort counts, even when there's no applause, no recognition, no result yet. The real battle isn't about willpower, it's about identity. It's about deciding who you are when no one's watching. The silent battle within is the price of greatness. It's fought in quiet rooms, early mornings and late nights. It's the struggle no one else will ever understand, but you will. Because deep down you know that comfort might feel good now, but commitment is what makes your story worth remembering. Becoming that person. Everyone knows that person, the one who keeps showing up when everyone else gives up. The one who doesn't talk about what they're going to do, they just do it. The one who's underestimated, ignored, and even laughed at in the beginning, until one day, no one's laughing anymore. That's the person you want to become. Not the loud one, not the show-off, but the quiet, consistent one who turns doubt into fuel. Becoming that person starts when you stop needing to prove anything to anyone. You stop chasing validation, and you start chasing growth. You don't need to announce your goals anymore. Your results will speak louder than any words ever could. You train in silence, build in silence, and struggle in silence, because you understand that real transformation doesn't need attention, it needs dedication. That person doesn't complain about how hard it is. They don't waste energy comparing themselves to others. They focus on the process, one small step at a time. While others wait for motivation, they move. While others make excuses, they adapt. While others quit, they continue. Not because it's easy, but because they made a promise to themselves they refuse to break. At first, no one will notice your effort. You'll feel invisible, but slowly something shifts. People start to see the difference. They start to wonder how you did it, how you stayed consistent, how you kept going when they couldn't. And by then it's too late for them to catch up, because you've become that person, the one they once doubted but now respect. Being that person doesn't mean being perfect. It means being relentless. It means showing up, not because it's convenient, but because it's who you are now. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to talk about discipline, you embody it. You become proof that patience, persistence and quiet confidence are far more powerful than talent or luck. So when they doubt you, let them. Just keep showing up. One day, they'll have no choice but to notice, and by then you'll be too focused on your purpose to even care. The real test of discipline. It's easy to be disciplined when life is smooth, when everything's going your way, when you're seeing progress, when energy and excitement come naturally. Anyone can stay consistent then, but that's not where true discipline is revealed. The real test comes when everything starts to fall apart, when you're tired, uncertain, discouraged, and nothing seems to be working. That's when the difference between the motivated and the disciplined becomes crystal clear. Discipline isn't proven in comfort, it's forged in chaos. It's in those moments when your plans collapse, when life hits you harder than expected, and when quitting seems like the only option. That's when you find out who you really are. Most people disappear when things get hard. They tell themselves, maybe it's not meant to be. But the disciplined ones, they don't stop. They may slow down, they may stumble, but they refuse to walk away, because their commitment was never based on conditions, it was built on character.
When everything around you is uncertain, discipline becomes your anchor. It's what keeps you steady when emotions pull you in every direction. It's waking up and doing the work, even when your heart's heavy. It's pushing through doubt, pain and fear, not because it feels good, but because you promised yourself you would. That's the kind of discipline that can't be faked. The kind that's born through struggle and shaped by persistence. The truth is, life will test you. It will strip away your comfort, your confidence, and sometimes even your hope. But if your discipline survives those storms, you become unbreakable. Because real discipline isn't about never falling, it's about refusing to stay down when everything falls apart. That's not the end, that's the moment that defines you. The easy days build habits, but the hard days build strengths. So when life gets dark and everything seems to be crumbling, remember, this is the test. And if you keep going now, when it's hardest to keep going, you won't just pass it. You'll become the kind of person who never needs to take it again. Discipline isn't about being strong, it's about refusing to be weak. It's about choosing your future over your feelings, over and over again. It's not a single act, it's a mindset, a way of living that doesn't depend on how you feel, but on who you've decided to become. Most people wait for motivation, but discipline doesn't wait. It moves quietly, even when no one believes, even when no one claps, even when the results take months or years to appear. That's why it's so rare, and that's why it's so rare, and that's why it's so powerful. When you build discipline, you stop living reactively. You stop being controlled by moods, distractions, or excuses. You start to own your time, your energy, your destiny. Every small consistent act of discipline rewires you from the inside out. It shapes a mind that doesn't break under pressure, that doesn't need to be told what to do, because it already knows. Discipline isn't a prison, it's freedom. The freedom to rise above your emotions, to stay committed when everyone else quits, and to keep moving even when everything inside you wants to stop. So now it's your turn. Ask yourself, what's one area of your life you're finally ready to be terrifyingly disciplined about? The gym, your mindset, your habits, your goals. Drop it in the comments. I want to see it, because that's where your transformation begins. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. And if you're ready to stop waiting, to stop starting over, and to finally become unstoppable, hit that subscribe button. Because this isn't just another video, it's a movement, and your new chapter starts the moment you decide to show up, no matter what.